Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Decentering Men series. In this part of the Decentering Men series, I am having sex workers email me or text me. And we are going to be talking about the sides of men that no one likes to talk about. So, if you are a former ex worker or a current ex worker and you have some tea you want to spill about the nature of a lot of men, please email me at exoticalsunited@gmail.com. This girl is talking about how men will literally go to the strip club to try to find wives and girlfriends. And it's like, dude, the strippers, they just want to get paid. They just want to get their money and go home. But some men are so desperate and they assume that these dancers are super easy. And so they will try to target them and they will really be out here trying to get a wife. So, all that talk about 304s and how they have such high standards, nope, they don't care. But this girl says, "Hello, I saw your post about an email on sex worker experience on YouTube. I was a stripper or exotic dancer for a good almost 2 years. Started dancing in December 2017 and quit dancing in August 2019. My experience dancing at the time was fun, but also opened my eyes to a lot of real life ish I didn't think I would actually witness or seen people deal with. I knew the strip club scene wasn't all as glamorous as it seems, and even being a dancer, you have to somehow keep your guard up and watch your back, not only in the club, but outside of it as well. Although I was 25 when I started dancing, I still had a sense of naivete about what really could go down in the club. I started dancing in Colorado, and if anyone's been to Colorado or knows about the strip club scene here, they don't really like black women dancing in their clubs, especially if you're an ambiguous black woman and you don't have that exotic and skinny black Barbie doll look to you. At least that's how it was at a few of the clubs I danced in. I made decent money and I was a rather lazy dancer. I would approach customers here and there, but only if they were paying attention to me during my stage performance or tip me, or they would approach me for a dance while I was off the stage. Even for me being lazy, the money was pretty good. While dancing, I was also in a serious relationship and living with my boyfriend at the time who so happened to be in the military. Aw, shit, you know what I say about the military. She says, the relationship didn't work out, and even though he seemed to not care about me dancing, I knew he did, low key. Dealing with men in the club, it kind of changed my outlook on men in general. I didn't care too much about them coming to the club, as before I was dancing, I didn't really think badly about men going to strip clubs, especially if they were there to celebrate a birthday party, bachelor party, etc. Nor did I even think strippers were out to steal my man. They just wanted the money. And this is what a lot of men don't understand. Like most strippers, they don't want you. They just want your money. So if you're broke and going to the strip club, they're not interested. But she says, it was the men that would come up to the club to find a wife or girlfriend. Those were the ones I thought were weird. Like, our main job is to entertain you and help you have a good time, relax, chill. We want your money. We don't want you. At least I didn't. You also had to be careful with men coming into the club to try to pimp you out or sell drugs. Those were huge problems at the time when I was in. I luckily didn't have to deal with those types. Usually, other girls in the club I worked at were able to peep them out and warn other girls beforehand and tell the bouncers and manager about it. We sometimes would have creeps that would just sit at the bar and stare, wouldn't really buy much drinks, but I guess we're just looking for easy targets to rob or harm any of us. We had pretty good bouncers that would keep an eye out for men like that. Luckily for us, it was mandatory for our bouncers to walk each girl to their ride, even if we didn't tip them. I would also sometimes get men soliciting me for sex, which I never accepted any of their offers. Some girls would do that, but I just couldn't be intimate with men that I have no emotional connection with. I'm demisexual. Shout out to the demisexuals. So apparently, if you don't want to sleep with strangers, apparently that's called being demisexual. It means that like you have to have an emotional connection with a guy. You have to feel emotionally safe before you are able to sleep with a guy. So I mean that's how I am too. She says no matter how much money they offered, and the most I got offered was $5,000 for one night and a deposit of $1,000 in tips at the club. After I quit dancing, I still kept in my back pocket the experience I had dealing with men in the club, and it really did change my outlook on dating and dealing with men in general. I had no issues decentering men because I already did that after I quit. And when it comes to dating, I don't necessarily tell men that I used to dance, although I'm still actively pole dancing and plan on teaching, but I bring it up to see what they think. It kind of bothers me how a lot of them talk bad about dancers, yet 99% actively watch porn and get off to that. I'm not shaming the porn stars. I met a few, and they're just the sweetest. But besides, what we do is different. We are all under the umbrella of sex work. I stopped dating completely last year and deleted all my dating apps back in 2022, and I'm now just living my life being a hot girl, working on myself, and going back to school. I'm currently abstaining from sex, going on almost 5 years, and I'm okay with the potential that I may never date or have a partner. Men just don't do it for me anymore. And with my past relationships and seeing the dark side of how men can be, especially as a dancer, I'm cool doing my own thing. I have seen girls be pimped out, girls have toxic, controlling partners, girls being set up by men, even managers, DJs, and bouncers mess up a girl's bag just simply because she's not giving them the attention they want or effing with them. I've seen a lot of you guys who have emailed me. A lot of the strippers and stuff are telling me that a lot of guys will go to strip clubs literally to boost their self esteem. And so if a stripper doesn't interact with the man, then like that man's self esteem will go down. And so this actually goes along with my theory that most men are actually women centered emotionally. They have no self esteem without women. They have no emotional regulation without porn. So that's still sex workers. They have no relevance without having a wife or a woman to birth their children. And so that this what she's saying goes along with that about how men they get super pissed off when the pretty girl doesn't interact with them. But she says, I've contemplated going back to the club, at least starting dancing and then moving on to bartending. But the money isn't the same since I left. And sex trafficking and prostitution is real heavy in the clubs in my area. So it's kind of hard to just dance. Not that it's impossible to still make money. Plus, I have such a distaste for men, I wouldn't even want to deal with them, even if I was being paid to. Pole dancing is honestly my savior and one of the only things I loved about being in the club. I still can get the experience of it, but only in a safe, controlled environment, and at least I don't have to deal with disgusting men anymore. Plus, I love encouraging other women to do it to help with their confidence in themselves, explore their creative side, and to get stronger and reach their fitness goals. Yeah, I've done a pole dancing class before with my friends. For those of you who have never tried pole dancing class for fitness, it is so hard. Oh my gosh. But she says, I could go on about some stories about my short time dancing, especially dealing with men, but I wanted to share a little bit of my experience on it. But what do you ladies think? Are you surprised that a lot of men solicit ex workers in order to build their self esteem? Because I've noticed this over and over again. Like guys, they will try to call like phone sex operators. They will seek after porn because that's the only way that they can get sexual access to a woman without being rejected. It's literally by clicking a button on their phone. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.